Baseball fans, can you smell the playoffs in the air? We got a lot to talk about. Let's get to it. And how you doing, baseball fans? Hello. Right around 100 people to start things off. I'm glad everyone is tuning in on their Sunday evening. Hope all is well. Hope everyone is healthy and hope everyone is doing well with the playoffs right around the corner. I am quite excited. The fever is starting to pick up. I can't talk. The fever is starting to pick up now. And every year, right around this time, it's like, oh, okay, playoffs, we're starting up this week. I'm pretty excited for it. Even though my Red Sox are not there this year, that's okay. I can still enjoy the playoffs. There's going to be a lot to talk about this coming week. And we got a lot to talk about tonight. Man, oh man, this was a series coming into this weekend. This was the series in the National League East. To me, whoever won this series was going to win the division, and the Braves just took the East, just took it over completely. I did not expect a Braves sweep. That is a little shocking to me, to be completely honest, but we'll dive into that. We got a lot of other things to talk about as well. Tony La Russa expected to announce his retirement. Pujols making some history today. The Padres making it back to the playoffs for the second time since 2006. And whatever else decides to happen, we're going to talk about it. But thank you for coming out tonight, everyone. But before I do get started, if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button for me. We have been getting some traffic lately on the channel. About, I don't know, maybe like 100 new subscribers in the last couple of days. The last couple of videos we've done here on the channel, they've done pretty well with the views. So anyone that's new, welcome to the channel. And if anyone is new in the chat right now and you have yet to subscribe, hey, give us a subscribe. We're trying to get to 27,000 by the end of the playoffs. Everyone, if you can, the like goal for tonight is 100. Hit that like button for me. Hit the bell notification, especially with all of the playoff games coming up. You're going to want to hit that bell notification because I'm going to be going live a lot in this postseason. So definitely hit that bell button. Also, share the stream if you can. Don't forget, we are partners here with SeatGeek. Use my code HYDE. You get $20 off your first purchase. I mean, we still got a few games left in the season. Definitely take advantage of my code, but you can also use SeatGeek and my code for football tickets, basketball, MMA, whatever you want to go to. Any concerts, use my code HYDE, $20 off. And don't forget, we are partners with Prize Picks here. If you are into the sports betting game, go check out Prize Picks. If you're tired of FanDuel, if you're tired of DraftKings playing against other people, give Prize Picks a chance. You play against the system. You're playing the over-unders. And if you use my code GINGER, you'll get a 100% deposit match. Also, everyone, this past Monday, myself and Ellis Burks hosted, or for the first time, we co-hosted the Believe in Red Sox podcast. We will be going again tomorrow at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Hey, whether you're a fan of the Braves, the Mets, the Rockies, the Portland Pickles, whatever, if you want to hear some Red Sox, come tune in tomorrow night. And we have the great Ellis Burks co-hosting the show. We're going to give some of our favorite moments of this past season. We're going to go over some highs. We're going to go over some lows and whatever else decides to come to our minds. Anything Red Sox, we're talking about it tomorrow. So join in tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern time. And alrighty, everyone, I think I have made all of my plugs. We got around 125 people to start things off. We do have a couple of super chats here from Michael Yench. Michael Yench, thank you for the 2 super chats. Let's go over those really quick. I am not worried about the Mets or the Braves. My Padres own both of them, but I want to face the Mets. I love the confidence. I love it from Michael Yench. He's up for anything, in this postseason. I mean, right now, the Mets they got no momentum right now. If you're a Padres fan, I think you want to face the Mets right now. But then again, I don't know. Be careful what you wish for, Michael. Be careful what you wish for. And also, Michael says, yes, Robbie, keep on praising my Padres. I mean, hey, you know what? I think the Padres, we'll dive more into them in here in a little bit, but I think the Padres are a bit of a sneaky team in this postseason, and I'll tell you about it why in just a little bit. William Fulgham with a super chat as well, $4.99. William, are one of our true Braves fans here on the channel. Braves will win the East and spend less than 8 days in first place. Crazy year for both the Mets and the Braves. I mean, what an exciting year. Both of these teams coming into this year, you know, you had people going with the Mets for the division. You had people going with the Braves. I went with the Braves in this division. And when Spencer Strider went down with the oblique injury, I'm on the record, and I said this is the Mets' division to lose. Didn't say the Mets weren't going, or the Braves weren't going to win the division. But, you know, without a stud guy like Spencer Strider not making a couple more starts to end the year, I don't know, man. To me, that was... You had Scherzer and DeGrom going in this series, and you had Bassett as well. I mean, come on. You know, the Mets, you were sitting pretty right there. And I'm sorry to say it, but Mets, you know, you blew it. You blew it, man. I'm just saying. Jimmy Productions, we got a lot of super chats coming in. My goodness, am I going to be able to start the show? Jimmy Productions, Robbie, sometimes picking the underground or the underdog is fun because you get to follow the underdog you pick to win. Absolutely. That was kind of like me going with the Cleveland Guardians, you know, saying in the beginning of the year that I thought they were going to be a really competitive team. Now, I did not pick them to win the division. I've said this a million times, but I definitely did not pick them to win the division. I don't think a lot of people picked them to win the division. But that was, to me, like an underdog kind of a team. I think I went with the Rays winning the division. You know, I don't know if that was really an underdog kind of a pick. Well, how many people were picking the Blue Jays in the beginning of the year? You know, I like going with those underdog picks sometimes. So we'll have to see what underdog picks maybe I make for the postseason. Corey frickin' Preston, how you doing, my friend? Certified Mets killer, Yu Darvish, will see to their demise. I love it. Oh, could you imagine the Mets just lose in the wild card round? No. I don't want to think about it, man. No matter what, the Mets and the Padres in that wild card round, it's going to be a horrible loss for either of those teams because look at what those teams have done. Look at what the Padres have done over the last couple of years. Look at the Juan Soto trade they just made this season. Look at all the signings, the trades they've made. And obviously look at what the Mets have done. It's going to be awful for whoever loses. If that ends up being the series, it's going to be awful. My goodness. Thank you for all the super chats, everyone. Jacob Toon, thank you for becoming a member. I think Michael Yanks renewed his membership as well. Thank you for that. Jimmy Productions. Example, I picked Providence to win March Madness, and I had fun rooting for it. Absolutely, man. Definitely going with the underdogs. It's always a fun pick, and who knows? Maybe you end up being right. Michael, another super chat. At least my Padres are not facing the Cardinals again in the playoffs. I mean, I'm telling you, man, I like this Cardinals team. I picked them to win the World Series this year, and I don't know. They're not looking too bad of a pick right now, but we got some other teams here. Alrighty, let's get to it here. Thank you for all the super chats. Holy cow, I am just starting the show now, and we just had all these super chats. I really do appreciate it. If anyone else does want to leave one, hey, it pops up on the screen, and I'll read it as soon as it comes in. Alrighty, let's get to it here. So, the main story. The Braves sweeping the Mets. They are now up 2 games in the National League East. Are you kidding me? My goodness, let's get the music ready. Here we go. Alrighty, sharing the screen. And we got one more super chat coming in from Jimmy Productions. I think we got a lot of super chats coming in right now. Holy cow. I think the Mariners are going to win the World Series. That's my underdog pick. Dude, man, I'm also, spoiler alert, speaking of the Mariners, I'm actually making a video on the Mariners right now. I would love to get that posted tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. But yeah, the Mariners, I think that could end up being a fun pick in the American League. I could see a good amount of people going with the Mariners, absolutely. But I don't think most people are going to go with the Mariners for sure. It's Jacob. How you doing, my friend? $6.99 Canadian. Do you think the Blue Jays have a legitimate chance to win the World Series? Absolutely, I do. When you got guys like Kevin Gausman, Alek Manoah at the top of your rotation, you know, you got a solid guy like Ross Stripling there that could go a game 3. The bullpen has been doing a lot better. Still some ups and downs there, but they have been performing better for the most part in the second half. That offense is extremely dangerous. I think the Blue Jays absolutely have a chance. I think the American League, even though the Astros, I think that's going to be the popular pick, I think the Astros are beatable. I think you can beat that team. There's a lot of good teams in the American League. And even a team like the Mariners, they can get hot, go crazy. I think the American League is pretty up in the air. Honestly, I'd say the National League is pretty up in the air too. You got a lot of talented teams on both sides. But for the Blue Jays, of course, I definitely think the Blue Jays can do it. Here we go. Let's get to this series. So let's go, back to kind of just the game 1 here. I mean, this was like, it was pretty shocking, honestly, when you had DeGrom, taking the mound. DeGrom, I mean, we all know how good DeGrom is. But then this guy gives up 3 home runs. He ends up racking up a ton of strikeouts over 6. But the home run ball really did him in. Just the offense did not show up in this game. Max Fried pitched a beauty of a game. He's been having just a very good season. 5 solid innings, a run. Okay, maybe I wouldn't say a beauty of a game, but very solid 5 innings for Max Fried. And then the bullpen just doing its thing. And I actually want to say here, is this maybe a bit of a stretch? Can we just say Kenley Jansen, is maybe the player of the series? 3 straight saves. This guy has had a couple of blown saves here in the second half. And for him to come in back-to-back games, I mean, and just locking it down. I mean, I don't know. I think maybe you got to think here, he's got to be the player of the series. You always are a little, with Kenley Jansen on the mound, you're always a little, you're not really sure how you're feeling about it. Because you never know when this guy can just cough one up. But he's had a really good season this year. He came in this series. This is a big series. And for him to come in 3 straight games and lock it down, I don't know. To me, I mean, he's my player of the series. I know some other guys really contributed, but the fact that he came in 3 games in a row, that's pretty good if you ask me. We got a couple of super chats coming in. How are we doing here? Jimmy Productions, I hope the World Series is Cardinals versus Mariners. So the Dodgers, Mets, Braves, Astros, and Yankee fans are all mad. That would be pretty funny. I would love for the Cardinals to make it. I would love it. Cardinals, Mariners, man. That'd be pretty fun. Jimmy Productions, Robbie, did I give you the idea to do the Aaron Judge free agent video? Did you give me the idea? I don't know. Maybe you did, and I just can't remember. I don't know how I got the idea. Well, how did it I was doing a Carlos Correa video. This is how I got the idea for the video. I was doing the Carlos Correa video, and then I thought, yeah, you know what? I'll just do an Aaron Judge one, too. Why not? I don't got to stop at Correa. I'll do Judge. Why not? But yeah, and that video did pretty good. So, alrighty, here we go. So yeah, DeGrom, it did pitch well overall. Just the home run ball did him in. I wouldn't say it's completely on DeGrom. Just Max Fried pitched well. The bullpen pitched well. The offense for the Mets just couldn't really get anything going. I mean, you had an RBI from Guillerme, from Nito, but these guys at the top of the order, Nimmo, Alonso, Lindor. I mean, you're only getting a couple of hits there. McNeil had a pretty good game. It's overall, I don't know. The offense, I just worry, when you're going up against some really good pitching, and if you're going to be playing the Padres too, got some good starting pitching there. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. Moving on to game 2, more of the same. The Mets offense just going cold. Scherzer, not a terrible game overall. If we go to the box score here, not horrible, but not effective. Going into the 6th inning, 9 hits, 4 runs, a couple of home runs. The Braves they really took advantage when they had their moments. Ronald Acuna Jr. in this game going 3 for 4 out of the leadoff spot. Swanson was also really good in this series as well. He contributed tonight as well. Dansby Swanson, man, this guy, he's going to get himself a nice fat contract, man, in the offseason. This guy's a winning player. Dansby Swanson having a very good season. What in the heck is going on? It is a super chat party tonight. Holy cow. I just want to thank all of you for all of the support tonight. Renz is rad. How you doing? I want Padres Mariners for the same reason as Jimmy Productions. I mean, Padres Mariners, I think that would actually be a pretty fun series as well. Both of those teams have been making trades. The Mariners, they have just not even been to the playoffs in the last 21 years. The Padres haven't been to the playoffs. Well, 2020 they made the playoffs, but I mean after that, going back to 2006, like the Padres, not a whole lot of success over there as well. I think that would be a really fun series. Man, I think that's. I wonder how many people will end up picking the Padres and the Mariners, but I think that could be a pretty fun one. Jimmy Productions, I could see the Rockies giving a huge deal. I'll be honest with you. Don't be surprised if the Rockies, throw an offer out there for him. Don't be surprised. I could totally see something like that. Corey frickin' Preston, how you doing? Cannot praise Raisel Iglesias enough for not just this series, but what he's been doing since he became a Brave. Bro has been nearly perfect. Just that whole bullpen. That was a great move when they brought him in. If we go take a look at the Atlanta Braves bullpen as of right now, Raisel Iglesias really took to the setup role this year. Taking a look at his numbers overall. Come on, Fangraphs, help me out here. So, really good season here. Honestly, these are probably some of his better numbers going back for kind of a while now. If you take a look here, ERA right around the same as last year. The FIP is definitely better. So, his strikeouts are down and his walks are a little up. But the big difference with Raisel Iglesias is that after they brought him in the trade this year, he really worked on the home run ball. If you take a look here, he hasn't given up a home run with the Braves at all. So they definitely figured out something with him. Because last year, if you go look, he was giving up a home run and a half in 2021. And, still a little bit more of the same with the Angels. But, taking a look here, less strikeouts. He's got the walks down, but he's not giving up any home runs. Look at the numbers that he has with the Braves alone. A 0.37 ERA, a 1.51 FIP. So it looks like the Braves, they just saw a lot that Raisel Iglesias could still contribute, but they definitely tinkered with some things. They tried to, just cut down on, just trying to get strikeouts so much, just trying to be more of an effective pitcher out of the bullpen. And I think that ended up being a good position for him in that bullpen, not having to come in and just try and lock it down, more of a setup guy, not as much pressure there. I think he's really taken to that spot really well. What a great bullpen this is. What a great bullpen. Taking a look. Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that. What do we got? Jimmy Productions. The Mariners turquoise uniforms are fire. Yeah, there's a lot of good ones, man. There's a lot of good alternate uniforms. I really do. A lot of these city uniforms have been really good, man. But some of these alternate uniforms are really good too. Michael Yench, the Rockies and Angels are the two stupidest franchises in Major League Baseball. They make some interesting moves, man. I'm excited to see what the Angels do this offseason. I really am. I'm excited to see what the Rockies do. I'm just excited for the offseason. My goodness. My Red Sox stink. I need to see what they do. Here we go. So getting back to this. But in the end, the Braves, they just did all the little things better. They came up with the big hits when they needed them. This is a pretty good series overall. Every single game was decided by 3 or less runs. Close games. These felt like playoff games. And in the end, hey, the Braves just showed up and they just took care of business. The Braves looked like a winning team here. I'm not just saying that because they swept, but they just looked like they outclassed the Mets in this series. They came up with the big hits when they needed them. And this isn't even, and you can't even use the excuse of, the Mets didn't have, effective pitching on the mound. You had Scherzer and DeGrom and Bassett. That's what you're going to go with in the playoffs, And to me, the Braves, they just looked like a team that was just ready to win, And the Mets, maybe the Mets can look at this series, and maybe they could say, all right, okay, this did not go well, okay, but now we can go to the postseason, we can make some adjustments, right? Take a look at the scouting, and we can go from here. I think for Mets fans, I wouldn't just completely Yeah, it's obviously a tough series, and basically the National League East is over at this point. But I still think you can take some positives here. You still did have some pretty solid pitching for the most part. Scherzer could have been a little better, but I think DeGrom overall, even though he gave up 3 home runs, I still think DeGrom looked pretty well. What was Bassett's line tonight? Okay, not a whole lot out of Bassett, but the bullpen did look really good for the Mets tonight, so I'll give them some credit there. Actually, the bullpen for the Mets was actually really good in this series. McGill gave up a couple of runs there. I think that's a positive that you can take away, is that the Mets bullpen looked really good. In the end, Scherzer didn't look terrible. He didn't look great, but didn't look terrible. DeGrom, give up 3 home runs. I think he looked pretty solid. Bassett, not so much, but the bullpen looked really good. Starting pitching, I think, was fine. You just need these bats to wake up. And maybe they could go back, moving forward, to the last few games of the season here. You can look back at this series and try and make some adjustments, Go into this next series, your last series of the season, and, just see what you can take away from this series, Hey, what would you rather have? Get swept here or get swept in the playoffs? I would maybe take the sweep here, come back into, if you go up against the Braves back again in the playoffs, hey, maybe you'll be better prepared next time. So I wouldn't completely, just be completely down on yourselves at this point. At the end of the day, you're still a really good team. There were some positives in this series if you're the Mets. And hey, you're still going to be a strong team in the playoffs. So it is what it is. But for the Braves, this team, they're looking absolutely fantastic. If we go take a look at the second half stats, the Braves, they've just been so good all across the board. I mean, to be completely honest with you, when it comes to the entire season, the Braves rank extremely well. But in the second half, they are 5th in WRC+. If we take a look at starting pitching Fangraph WAR, they are 5th in that category. And the bullpen has just been extremely solid, 7th overall. I believe they are 2nd for the whole year. That bullpen was just so locked down in the first half. They had some slip-ups there in the second half, but Atlanta, overall, the 2nd best bullpen this year, only behind the Dodgers. So, if we go take a look here at the standings, right? So, now, the Mets, they will be the number 1 wild card team. And now, the Braves, looking like they're going to hang on to that National League East. Could you imagine the Mets? So you got the Nationals, and then the Braves got the Marlins. So could you imagine the Marlins sweep the Braves and the Mets just sweep the Nationals and just win the East? My God, that'd just be Looney Tunes. But right now, this definitely changes up a lot of things. And if we go take a look here at the current playoff picture, the Mets currently lined up to play the Padres, and the Braves getting that first round bye. And that's another big thing too, because hey, but then again, some people kind of look at this where I think you go 50-50 here, where some people, they almost want you to keep playing so you can keep that routine going. And then some people, they would rather have the rest, How many times have we seen before where a team, they don't play for a couple days and they kind of seem a little sluggish, I wonder, maybe if you're the Mets, hey, Mets fans, maybe you could take something from that. Maybe if you end up playing in the wild card, you still got that momentum going, play against the Padres, the Braves, you're going to be taking a bit of a rest. But it is big because the Mets, whoever wins that series with the Padres and the Mets, you're going up against the Dodgers in the first round. And that Dodgers team is really good. They are really good. But let's go ahead here. Let's shift gears. Let's talk about the San Diego Padres. We got another super chat coming in from Jimmy Productions, $4.99. I hope the Phillies miss the playoffs, so Bryce Harper regrets leaving the Nationals. Man, just can't catch a break, that guy, man. Can't catch a break. We'll talk about the Phillies here in just a second. But let's talk about the Padres. Let's talk about the Padres. So they clinched a wild card spot today, and they lost. They were losing against the White Sox when they found out they clinched a wild card spot. So I actually have experience with this. I remember the Red Sox and the Yankees, they were playing one night. I think it was 2016. The Red Sox won the division that year. And I think they won the division that year, right? I think they won the division. Let me go back. No, I think, yeah, they won the division. Yeah, they won the division. But the Yankees, they hit a walk-off home run against the Red Sox, and it ended up being where the Red Sox, they ended up clinching anyway. So they they got walked off on. I think Kimbrel gave up a walk-off home run. And then, but then and moments later, they were celebrating their division title. And I'm thinking like, I don't want to celebrate a division title like this. This is awful. And hey, the Padres, they kind of had that today. They ended up losing, and then they're celebrating in the clubhouse. I don't know. To me, it's like, I don't know, boys. I mean, I think it's great that we clinched a playoff spot, but like we lost. I don't know. That's just me. But I have seen this happen before with my Red Sox, and then they ended up losing in the first round. So I don't know. I'm just saying. But the Padres, they are officially in the playoffs. They were in the playoffs back in 2020 in that shortened season, but the last time they had made the playoffs was 2006. So the Padres, just saying, this doesn't happen very often. But they did lose to the White Sox today. We will talk some White Sox here in just a little bit. But as of right now, San Diego, they are the second wild card. And this is still a little up in the air here. Only one game separates the Padres and the Phillies. So this definitely is not over. The Phillies, they got Houston for 3. And then the Padres, they got the Giants at home. So Houston, how will they go about this series? Will they rest guys? Will they keep guys playing? I don't know. But Houston, they have nothing to play for right now. To me, I would imagine they're probably going to rest some guys. I just would think that's what they would end up doing. Maybe not rest everyone, but they're going to definitely cut down on some playing time for some guys, I would imagine. Super chat coming in. How you doing, my friend? Grenave, who's your NL and AL champs and World Series winner? Man, you are putting me on the spot right now, man. You're putting me on the spot. Oh, I haven't even really dove into it. I mean, right now, I'll give you this. My preseason predictions, I had the Cardinals and the Blue Jays in the World Series. Right now, these are not my official predictions, okay? I have not looked at the numbers. Like, I'm going to actually, dive into this. Like, I'm not just going to pick a random team or whatever. I'm actually going to be looking at numbers the best I can and see if I can make a decision that way. But right now, man, I really like the way the Braves played in this series. I really do. I think the Braves are they're a complete team. Man, they impressed me here. They did. But man, it's the postseason. Anything can happen. I just like the Braves. They're just so good. They're just so good. They're good all around. Great bullpen, good starting pitching, good offense, good manager. It's like they're just so good. I think they have one of the best shots out of any of these teams since the Yankees back in 2000 to repeat. I really do. Because when you look at the Braves this year, they have a lot of the same players from last year, but they also have a lot of new faces too. You had Matt Olson come in. You had Michael Harris II come up. Spencer Strider came up this year. You got a lot of guys here. Raisel Iglesias, who we were talking about earlier, came over to the Braves. There's a lot of because what's so hard about repeating, it's just such a grind, But you had a lot of guys who are just fresh faces for the Braves this year. And not just any guys, really good players, really good contributors. I don't know, man. I really like the Braves' chances. I do really like the Cardinals. I do. There's just something about them. I think they're just going to be a tough out. The Cardinals are always, to me, one of those pesky teams. They're not going to go down easily. I know they got swept a couple of years ago by the Nationals, whatever. But they're not going to be an easy team to knock out. The Mets, even though, yeah, you're not feeling very good right now. Well, I'm sorry, but when you got DeGrom and Scherzer, you're doing pretty good, man. You're doing pretty good. The Padres, they got good starting pitching. They got bats. The bullpen is a little, I don't feel great about their bullpen. But you got starting pitching that can carry you. I don't know how confident I feel with their starting pitching over teams like, the Dodgers. I haven't even talked about the Dodgers yet. My goodness. The Dodgers, they're just really good. The one thing about the Dodgers, how do I say this? They have really good starting pitching. I'm just more focused on when it comes to the playoffs, you really need the cream to rise to the top. Sure, I like Tyler Anderson. Sure, I like Andrew Heaney. I like guys like that. But are they gonna carry you to the promised land in the postseason? That's what I wonder about. I don't know. The Dodgers, very good. That offense is just hellacious. The bullpen is extremely good, and they're getting guys coming back. I think they have enough starting pitching, is basically what I'm trying to say. I don't think it's like, when you're looking at what the Braves have with their starting pitching, the Mets, even the Padres. I like their starting staffs better than the Dodgers, to be completely honest. I know you got Urias and Kershaw there. Kershaw is always a bit of a question mark too, with his health. I like Urias, I think I don't know. It's right now, I can't really give you an answer because I haven't really just looked at everything. I got to look at everything. Right now, I do like the way the Braves are playing. They just seem like they just got a chip on their shoulder. I don't know what it is, man. They look good. They look good, man. In the American League, man, is it me or are the Blue Jays just getting hot right now? Are they just getting hot at the right time? They're starting to look pretty good. I don't know, man. I think they might be hitting their stride at the right time. I think Seattle could have some magic possibly. When you got they have good starting pitching. I think they could go on some kind of a run. I know everyone wants to quit on the Yankees right now, but the Yankees are still a really good team. The Astros obviously are really good. I don't know about the Guardians. I like the Guardians. I just don't think they're quite there. I don't know. I think in the end with the Guardians, they have good talent. It's a young team. I just don't know if they really know how to win right now. And that's a big thing. You got to learn how to win. I think the Guardians, they're going to go down pretty easily. They are hot coming into the postseason. I don't like the Guardians too much. But the Astros are so good. It's so hard to pick against the Astros. They're just so good. It's tough. I'm going to be honest. I can't really give you like a quick answer right now. I'd love to answer this question. I don't know. If you were to hold a gun to my head, I don't know. Let's look at the playoff picture. I was going to get to this anyway. Just right off my head, without looking at anything, I don't know, man. This is hard. This is a hard postseason to pick. This is hard. I think the Yankees will make it to the championship series. I think they'll get there. I'll be honest with you. I think that Blue Jays Mariners series looks fun. That's a fun looking series right there. I think that could go either way. I feel like the Blue Jays could get by the Mariners there. And I think the Blue Jays, I will say this. I think the Blue Jays have a better shot at knocking off the Astros than the Mariners do. That Blue Jays offense is just really good. And they got some top-of-the-line starting pitching. I like the Mariners starting pitching, but you got Luis Castillo, Robbie Ray. I like those guys. But I don't know, man. I love Kevin Gausman. I really like the season that he's had. Alek Manoah is good. But then again, the Astros starting pitching is just so deep. I don't know. Maybe the Mariners starting pitching is a little better. This is what I'm saying. I got to kind of like look at everything. I don't know, man. To be honest with you, do you want to really get cute in the American League? I think, honestly, it could just be Yankees-Astros in the ALCS. I really think that. I just think those two teams are really good. You know, the Yankees, they got the benefit of having an easier path. You know, I'm just saying. I think it could end up being Yankees-Astros in the ALCS. The Mets and the Padres, I think both have a good shot at knocking off the Dodgers. I really do. I think the Dodgers could have a first-round exit this year. I could totally see, you know, I really do. I really could see the Braves and the Mets in the NLCS. I really could see that, you know. I think the Braves are just so good right now. The Mets have the talent to get by the Dodgers. I don't know. Just real quick, I don't know. I'll just go Yankees, Astros, Braves, Mets, you know, for the Final Four. World Series. Ugh. I don't know. Astros, Mets. I don't know. It's kind of crazy to say the Mets right now after a sweep, but listen, when you go to the postseason, you turn the page, man. You turn the page. It's whatever you just did in the regular season, forget it. It's postseason baseball. Just saying. I don't know, man. It's kind of really hard to give a prediction right now. Like the way I like to do it, not like, you know, I'm gonna make any better and give you a better answer in a couple days from now, but I just like to look at numbers. You know, it's just me. It's hard for me to really just pick something right now. But thank you for the super chat. Moonshadow. I took a while on that one. My goodness. Moonshadow 91. Missed some super chats. Did I miss a couple of super chats? Oh. No, I was talking about this last one. I don't think I missed it. Oh, I talked about Jimmy Productions. Oh, I didn't see these. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. Oh, wow. Oh my goodness. You are right, Moonshadow. I missed one of yours. I'm so sorry. A Cleveland Mets World Series. Both have title droughts. That would be fun. Like, can we just have the Guardians go on a run, please? I think that'd be pretty fun. Smooth Criminal. How you doing, my friend? Hope the Mets have fun going against Darvish, Musgrove, and Blake Snell did look really good today. He did look good. Didn't get the win, but that's a fun series of the Mets and the Padres. Really is. Fun series, man. Fun series. And then, and what's crazy about that is you go against the Dodgers. That's not fun at all, man. That's why the Dodgers, they definitely have the advantage. So, you know, I wouldn't want to be either of those teams. Jimmy Productions. I hope Mike Trout gets traded to the Orioles, Cardinals, Cubs, or the Pirates. Could you see Mike Trout get traded? I don't know. I have a hard time seeing Trout getting traded. I could see Ohtani more. I know Ohtani just signed the arbitration deal for $30 million, or to avoid arbitration, sorry, but that doesn't mean he can't get traded. I don't think they will trade him, but I think Ohtani has a better shot at getting moved in the offseason. I think if anything, it's more of a deadline kind of a thing. I think Ohtani stays with the Angels in the offseason. I don't see him getting traded, and I think if he does get traded, it's the deadline. I think the Angels are going to put forth a good effort this offseason, even though ownership is a little bit of a question mark right now. I still think they're going to go ahead. They're still going to put forth their best effort, putting together whatever team they can put together for next year. And I think if they're just not in it next year, they'll trade Ohtani at the deadline. There's no point getting rid of him now. You might as well try. You know, there's no point trading him now, you know, and you might as well wait until the deadline because that's when his value, teams are going to try and overpay. You know, they're going to try and get that guy. So thank you, Moonshadow, for giving me the heads up. I do really appreciate that. Swishy Blues, my friend. Have yourself a good night, my friend. Have yourself a good night. I am sorry about your Mets. Grin aside, Guardians Mets would be crazy. Jimenez. Oh, that would be another pretty interesting storyline too. That'd be really good. I know I kind of just brushed off the Guardians there, but you got Bieber, you got McKenzie. I don't know. Their starting pitching, it's a little thin to me. That'd be awesome if the Guardians could somehow make it there. Oh, that'd be the best. That would be the best. I would love that. All these teams in the American League, like the Astros, the Yankees, Blue Jays. You know, I haven't even talked about the Rays. Could the Rays be a sneaky team? that ends up getting there. I could see the Guardians beating the Rays. I could see that. I could see the Guardians getting to that first round matchup with the Yankees. Tampa Bay, I don't know what it is. This Tampa Bay, they're just not exciting. You know, there's just nothing that's really, I don't know. There's just nothing to the Rays. I don't know. But is that maybe a good thing? You know, they're just under the radar right now. They're always a good team. Hey, maybe they could make a surprising run. Nick Young, how you doing? Ohtani can only go to the Mets per trade clause. I don't think that's accurate. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that's inaccurate, my friend. I don't know about that. I don't think he has a trade clause. Does he have a trade clause? I don't think he has one. No, I don't think he does. I don't think he does. Maybe. I don't even know. Huh. Well, I don't know. I don't know about that. Thank you for the super chat, though, Nick. But to me, I think of Ohtani, if there is a trade that comes up, I think if he has a chance to go to a winning team, I think he would take it. So, but the Padres, you know, when you take a look at the San Diego Padres, it's a good team. It's a good team, man. Obviously, the offense looks great. When you got Juan Soto there, Machado, Cronenworth, Drury, Bell, looking really good. Starting pitching. Their starting pitching is turning it on at the right time. Like, if you look at San Diego in the second half, so 16th overall, but let's go more to the last couple of weeks. So, where's the last? Let's go to the last 30 days. So, San Diego, a 3.82 ERA over the last 30. So, now let's go to the last 14. So, they're 10th overall in the last couple of weeks. They're 5-1, a 2.24 ERA, a 3.35 FIP. So, over the last couple of weeks, the Padres are looking pretty strong. And if we take a look over the last 7 days, it's been fine. It's been fine. A 3 ERA, 3.67 FIP. You know, you got these guys, man, that are really starting to turn it on at the right time. Blake Snell has been really good. He's getting hot at the right time. And hey, don't forget, Blake Snell, he was just pitching in a World Series a couple of years ago. Darvish has been, I think, quietly having a really good year. If we look at Darvish, 30 starts this year, almost 200 innings, a 3.10 ERA, 3.32 FIP, 9 strikeouts per 9, under a walk per 9, a home run per 9. Really solid numbers from Yu Darvish. Now, Mike Clevinger, I don't know. Is that guy is he going to pitch a postseason game? I would think right now it's going to be Darvish, Musgrove, and Snell. I think Clevinger, I don't know. I wouldn't really rely on Clevinger at this point. I feel like he's been pretty ineffective for the most part. A 4.98 FIP, a 4.33 ERA. I mean, he got the win over the White Sox yesterday. He went 6 innings, 3 hits. Gave up a run, but hey, Clevinger pitching well. But I think that's the 3 that you got to go with in a wild card series. I think you go Darvish, I think you go Musgrove, and then I think you go Snell. So I think Clevinger, put him in the bullpen for now. Him and Manaea, I think, would be good for the bullpen. And then, and if you end up getting past the Mets, well, then I would think most likely Clevinger or Manaea, or maybe I think let me look at the schedule. So, here we go. So the wild card for the American League, for the National League. So that would be game 1 is October 7th. And then the National League Division Series would be October 11th. So that's 4 days. So I don't think Darvish wouldn't be ready. So you would have to go with either Clevinger or Manaea for a game 1 if you make it past the Mets. So that'd be interesting. That's the advantage of getting into the getting the bye, right? That's the advantage of it. Because now if you go, and that's only saying if you go 3 games against the Mets. I would imagine it would take 3 games to beat the Mets, right? Or honestly, I think that series could easily go 3 games. But if it ends up going a 3 games, well, then you're going to burn through all 3 of those guys. So unless Darvish, maybe he ends up getting shelled in game 1 somehow, some way, and then he only pitches a couple innings, and then he ends up being fine for, the other 2 guys step up and win the series, and then Darvish can go game 1 in the division round. I don't know. There's always a whole bunch of variables that can happen. But the Padres, I like this team. I think they definitely should get some credit. I don't think they should be slept on. I feel like they're being slept on a little bit. But the bullpen, no, Josh Hader, this is another guy who has been stepping it up lately for the Padres. He has been stepping it up. So taking a look at his game log, his FIP is a 3.44, ERA is a 5.29. So looking at Hader, he gave up a run on the 27th. I think he pitched. Did he pitch today? I don't remember, but he pitched yesterday. He got the save. So he has been, ever since he got blown up there against the Royals on August 28th, he's been pretty good for the most part. Let me actually pull up his splits here. In September, he has been really good. So looking at the numbers, in September, 11 strikeouts per 9, under 2 walks per 9. He has a FIP of 1.25 in September and an ERA of 0.93. So Hader has definitely turned it around. And I think the bullpen, it's out of the, when you look at the offense, the starting pitching, and the bullpen to me is the weakest part for me. So I don't know. That's the only thing I have. But you got good starting pitching that could definitely carry you. So don't sleep on these Padres. I don't think that's a wise idea to sleep on that team, even if you're going up against the Mets. Now, the Mets with the Braves, and always remember something I've said. Division matchups are always tough, right? No matter how good of a team you are, you could end up getting swept, right? It just happens with these division matchups. Watch. Let's say the Mets and the Braves, they come back together in the championship series. I guarantee you it would go 7. The Braves wouldn't sweep the Mets again. No way. It wouldn't happen. They would make the adjustments. These two teams have seen each other so much. I don't see if they meet again in the championship series, I don't see that again. So you never know what could happen. But for the Padres, do not sleep on them in the postseason. They even if they are going up against really good guys like DeGrom and Scherzer, you can't sleep on the Padres. You cannot. So let's move on here. We got a couple more things to talk about. Albert Pujols today making some history, hitting number 702. I think he is now 12 behind Babe Ruth, but now he is tied for second all-time in RBIs. Let me pull up the numbers here. Alrighty, here we go. Albert Pujols, I don't think this is updated yet, but Albert Pujols, I think he ended up getting, he got 3 RBIs today, so he is officially tied with Babe Ruth for second all-time, 2,214. Albert Pujols has been absolutely nuts. What in the world is going on with this guy? Look at these numbers. He has been so good. Look at the numbers. He's hitting 268 with an 887 OPS, 23 homers, 64 RBIs. Can you just please stay for one more season and pass Ruth? I mean, come on. Just do it. Pass Ruth in home runs. You'll be third all time. Come on. Make it happen. I want Pujols back. Nah, I think I'd be okay with it. But what was really cool about this today, man, hitting a home run in your final game in St. Louis, man, how cool is that? How cool is that? That's just picture perfect, man. He has had just an unbelievable season. Unbelievable. I love it, and I hope they keep winning in the postseason. I really do, man. I want him, Molina, Wainwright. I want them to go out with a championship. I think they can do it. If Pujols keeps hitting the way he is in the postseason, you better watch out. You better watch out. I want Pujols back in the World Series. Please. So, please, can we please make this happen? But Albert Pujols making some history today. An amazing season for him, man. 300 at-bats. Who would have even thought he would have gotten 200 at-bats this year? I mean, he was not the best hitter last year, man. It looked like he was done. It looked like you didn't even know if he was going to be coming back. And look what happened. Look what happened. So, we do have one more story. We do got one more story. And this, to me, is pretty expected. But tomorrow, it is looking like we are going to be getting an announcement. Tony La Russa is expected to announce his retirement. And no surprise for me. You know, this White Sox team this year, it's been a good team. You know, they've put up good numbers. Maybe the offense hasn't hit their full potential. Yasmani Grandal did not have the season that a lot of people thought he would. This guy had over a 400 on base last year, and he just completely fell off the face of the planet. Yohan Moncada was hurt, but he had a really down year. You had guys like Andrew Vaughn stepping up, but Luis Robert didn't really hit the potential that people thought he could. I had Luis Robert maybe being a top 5 MVP candidate this year. Didn't happen. Definitely a lot of failed expectations this year with the Chicago White Sox, but they still had pretty good numbers. I mean, if you take a look at everything, they were 14th overall in offense in the second half, middle of the road, but they had a FIP of 3.61 in the second half. Actually, that's in the last 7 days. Let me take that back. Let me go to the second half here. The White Sox were 9th overall in starting pitching in the second half. So that was doing well. And looking at the bullpen, all year, the White Sox ranked 8th. A 3.59 FIP. Let me actually just pull up the second half. They were 12th overall in the second half. A 3.48 FIP. So they had good pitching both in the rotation and in the bullpen. The offense definitely lagged this year. Definitely lagged. Let's go pull up some numbers here with the White Sox. So Andrew Vaughn was really good this year. This is not the White Sox. What the heck am I doing? Oh, I hit the wrong one. Here we go. So yeah, Jose Abreu was good this year. Good season for him, but not a lot of power. 15 home runs. Luis Robert, kind of a whatever year. I mean, he was hurt. Tim Anderson, he was hurt too. He did a lot in the 79 games that he played. Eloy Jimenez, he was hurt too. You did have a lot of injuries. I will say that for the White Sox. That is one thing I forget about, is they did have a lot of injuries this year. They had AJ Pollock, but kind of just whatever. Josh Harrison, they brought in the offseason. He didn't really do all that much. Yohan Moncada, just a really down year. So, in the end, where's hold on a second. Where's Andrew Vaughn here? There he is. So Andrew Vaughn had himself a pretty good year. Hit 273, 17 homers, 76 RBIs. I think Andrew Vaughn led the team in RBIs. When your RBI leader is at 76, I mean, I don't know. I think you're falling short. They had injuries. They had guys just really digress from last year. Guys that failed to meet expectations. In the end, the White Sox, they just didn't have the offense that I think a lot of people thought they would have, but they had good pitching. So, in the end, though, I just think there just seemed to be no life with this White Sox team. I don't know. It just seemed like something was just not right in White Sox land. I don't know, man. You just didn't really see, you never really saw any clips of the White Sox just having fun. Like it just didn't seem like a fun year for these players, for the fans as well. I'm not going to sit here and say it's Tony La Russa's fault, but I don't think he was the right guy for this team. I liked the signing when it happened. I thought it was fun. I loved it. I thought it was great. Bringing in Tony La Russa. This is a guy who had so much success in his career, but it kind of felt like an out of place sort of a move. Now, someone like Terry Francona has been around for a little while too. But to me, Terry Francona has a different personality, where you look at Terry Francona with such a young team. Francona really connects with the players. Tony La Russa, he comes from a St. Louis, mainly with the St. Louis Cardinals, winning championships over there, where just winning was expected. Just a very professional organization. So it was no surprise to see, how La Russa was with a lot of things, especially, the Yermin Mercedes thing. It was kind of no surprise that's how he was. But when you look at someone like Terry Francona, with his age, working with such a young team, it really shows the difference. Francona is just more of a player guy. Francona was just always had that kind of goofy, like he was your grandpa almost, like your fun grandpa that you just like to go hang out with. Francona always gave off that vibe. That's how he was with the Red Sox. I love Terry Francona. Francona is just so underrated. But I think for La Russa, I just don't think it was the right situation. I think for the White Sox, what they got to do is they got to get a guy that can connect with the players. One guy's name that I keep seeing is Ozzie Guillen. I wonder if Ozzie Guillen could end up being the guy for the White Sox. I don't know, though. I don't know if ownership would do it. I feel like he would. I don't know. But then again, do you want that kind of like a lightning rod right now? I don't think they go the route. I don't think they go the route of an Ozzie Guillen. I think they do need to go with a guy that is going to connect with the players. Someone that is obviously going to lead your team to some winning. But I think they need to bring in a guy that is going to be a player manager, right? And I think Tony La Russa was just not that. And I just think the environment and the culture with the White Sox just wasn't great. Kind of think of it like you're going to work. You work with some really talented people. But, maybe you're not a fan of the person that's running the ship, and you just, I don't know, you just don't go to work with good vibes. The people that you work with are good, right? But none of you are feeling it, right? Because you're not a fan of your boss. I kind of feel like that's what it was this year. And, you kind of felt it a little last year. It just felt like the White Sox, with the talent that they had, they just never really hit their stride. And to me, I think that's a culture thing. I think it was just a clubhouse thing. And I don't think the guys hated playing with each other. But I just think, I don't know, it just didn't really seem like these guys were really enjoying themselves all that much. You had the stuff with Tim Anderson and Josh Donaldson. It just seemed like there was a lot of controversy all the time with the Whites. I don't want to say controversy, but just not good vibes. It just seems like these guys didn't really have fun. They just weren't like a loosey-goosey bunch. Dustin Wood, how you doing, my friend? So who are you taking from the NL in the playoffs if it's not the Dodgers? Oh, it's so tough because these teams are so good. I'll go back to it one more time. Can I just stick with my St. Louis Cardinals pick? I'm going to stick with my Cardinals. I like the Cardinals. I picked them in the preseason. I'm sticking with the Cardinals, man. Honestly, I might just have to stick with them for my official predictions. That's not official. But I like the Cardinals. I think they're just a good team. Now, are they going to be better than the Braves? Are they going to be... I think they could get past the Phillies, absolutely. But are they going to be better than the Dodgers? Are they going to be better than the Mets? At the end of the day, it's the postseason. Anything can happen. You don't even know, man. It's a wild time. That's what I like about the Major League Baseball postseason. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. But everyone, I think I'm going to get out of here. I'm tired. I'm a tired boy. I've been stumbling on my words a little bit tonight. That's because I'm not used to being up this late. But the reason I actually am live tonight is because I actually don't work tomorrow. They are not opening schools in my county because there's still a lot of power outages where I am in Central Florida just because of the hurricane. So I'm not going to work tomorrow. So I think I'm going back Tuesday. We'll have to wait and see. But expect a video tomorrow on the Seattle Mariners. I'm definitely going to be posting that. And again, we will be live tomorrow for the Believe in Red Sox podcast. Myself and Ellis Burks, please be here. Joe Cronin coming in clutch at the last second. Joe Cronin, how you doing, my friend? How you doing? Hopefully some wrestling gets good over the next week or two. Joe Cronin, how you doing? Everyone go follow Joe Cronin if you like wrestling. But everyone, I'm going to get out of here. Yeah, Joe. Yeah, me and Ellis Burks, man. We are now hosting the Believe in Red Sox podcast. We just did our first episode last week, and I was just completely starstruck, man. I'm thinking, what the heck here? Ellis Burks, he's sitting here on a stream with me. This is absolutely insane. But yeah, check out tomorrow's episode, everyone. It will be live at 8 o'clock Eastern. I'm going to get out of here. I'm tired. I'm going to face plant into my pillow and as soon as I hit the end stream button. So, everyone, have yourself a good night. I'm excited for the postseason in a few days. Expect videos and content over the next month. I mean, we're pretty much at the postseason now, so I'm going to be quite a busy boy over the next month. Everyone, have yourself a good night, and I'll talk to you next time.